know.
Yes, that's exactly right. Just try it out. My kind of go-to is fast failure. Let's rip the Band-Aid. Let's try something and let's try it quickly so that we're not wasting our own time and our own money. And then let's go into it saying, if this doesn't work, that's okay. Like, I will just try something else and I will be patient with myself and patient with the process. And ironically, that's a very similar process to how I would coach people on ads is, okay, we're going to try.
Welcome to Inspired Choice today. I'm your host, Caroline Biesalski, here to bring you authentic stories, surprising lessons, and powerful takeaways to fuel your journey in business and life. In each episode, I'll take you from one inspiring guest to the next, blending their experiences with my expertise to uncover practical strategies you can use right away. Whether you're starting out or stepping up, stay tuned for insights and actionable tips that make a difference. And stick around until the end for a special freebie just for our listeners. Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline. My today's guest is Cat Valverde, and I'm so happy that she said yes to our interview. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm fine too, thank you. And I would love to introduce you to the audience, of course. So you are a digital marketing expert and founder of Profesh. Is it pronounced Profesh?
It is. Yes, like a professional.
Yes, Profesh, with the mission to bring transparency, trust, and ethical practices to the marketing industry, currently pursuing her or your Harvard MBA, and with over $5 million in direct revenue created for your clients, you specialize in digital revenue strategy for the post-ads economy. Your passion for ethical business practices stems from your childhood experiences where you witnessed the dark side of telemarketing scams. You are committed to empowering businesses with authentic data-driven strategies to help them thrive. Your expertise focuses on re-engaging email lists and offering cash flow solutions for SaaS. How you pronounce this in the US?
SaaS.
SaaS. SaaS,
Mm-hmm.
e-commerce, course creation, and agency teams. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast, Cat Valverde.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's great. SaaS. I have to, I heard it before, and I know what it is, but the pronunciation,
I
it's,
know. I
yeah.
actually have to tell myself every time I say it how to pronounce it. It feels less organic to say sass. I would have said sauce, but
Yes.
what can you
Like secret sauce of your
do? Yeah,
business, maybe it is. And my
exactly.
first question is, how did your personal background influence your commitment to ethical marketing, and how does that shape your approach today?
It really shapes everything. And I am learning, the deeper I get into this entrepreneur journey, how impactful it is. My background, from a young age, my father was a telemarketing scammer for a very long time until he was then taken advantage of. His CFO was embezzling all of the money. And so, then his business went under. And, hearing this and seeing what it does to people, from a young age, you realize, what we do in the world, even if you don't feel like you're being very impactful or you don't think it's a big deal, to be scamming these elderly people out of, $15 packs of vitamins or whatever it is, it does leave a lasting impact and it does matter what we do. And so now that I'm on my own, I've been an entrepreneur for almost 3 years. It is just even more in my face that the way I'm building things, like what my foundation is and what I'm putting out into the world and who I'm helping be really successful, what brands I'm really pushing out there, it matters. It matters. And, just like it's really fun to celebrate successes of the small businesses I'm helping, I also do not want to put myself in a position where I'm disappointed in myself, maybe picking the wrong partner or, not doing justice to the work that I'm being paid to do or falsely advertising what's possible and then letting a lot of people down. All of these things matter in addition to, paying the people that work for me fairly, putting things out that are truly valuable. It's everything. It's everything.
I love what you said. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And the most important thing I agree with, it's celebration. Celebration, because sometimes we forget to look back and see and realize what we already accomplished, right?
It's so true. It's really easy to get torn down or to tear ourselves down, right? I do this to myself. It's nobody else but me, in the details of whatever current problems I'm facing. But I really pause to think, I can't believe I'm doing this on my own. And I've been doing this on my own, and looking at my actual, bio, there's some real wins there. And it does take, good reminders to celebrate where we are and celebrate where we've come from, especially on those days when it can get really hard and kind of scary.
Yes, when we don't see it yet. So we planted the seeds, for example, and there's growing, something's growing somewhere,
Mhm.
but you don't see it yet. And then comes faith into play, and you know what the outcome will be, even though you don't see the results yet.
Mhm.
Okay, my next
Exactly.
question. Can you share some key strategies from your program that help small businesses re-engage and reactivate their email lists?
Yes, absolutely. This is something I'm so excited about because it's something that all of us can do for free. And there's no better price than free for a small business. So the thing that I'll just preface this with is I'm getting a lot of feedback when I first introduce, really focusing on email lists, that it feels outdated. This feels really archaic. It feels like there's just so many more tools out there. There's so many more ads I could do. This doesn't feel like, top of the line and ahead of the curve practice. And it really could not be further from the truth. In fact, as ads are becoming more and more expensive, as we don't know, what AI is going to do, the most powerful thing as small business owners that we can build is our email list, because we own it. This is ours. It doesn't matter what Google or Meta starts charging for ads. It doesn't matter if they lock you out of their platforms and you can't get in anymore, because you have moved those people off of those platforms. You can still use them, certainly, but make sure you're also moving those, your audience off of platform. You have their contact information directly, because then it doesn't matter what happens out there. You still have all of them in your community right in front of you, right?
Mm.
So that's my first little spiel. But some key things to take away from your email list once you have started building this. If you get to a place where you're ready to scale and you're ready to bring in some extra revenue, look at your email list and take a really, really microscopic view. Look at every single person on that list. See who you can add to it. Who do you have on LinkedIn that might be interested in what you're offering? Who do you have on Instagram, on Facebook, friends of friends, prior colleagues? Just really dig deep into your community to think of any person that you can be adding to this. Or maybe it's somebody that has a community and their community might be interested in your services. Make sure you add that person so that we can eventually reach out to that community. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing, is make sure it's full. And it's tedious. It's a tedious process. I still kind of grumble about it when it's time for me to revamp. But the second thing is, you go through that list and you look at every single person, and we start to rank those people from the most profitable, if they're clients, for example, who has spent the most money with you, or maybe they've spent the most time with you. They've been with you for a year, for 2 years. Or maybe it's somebody who's been on your email list and they're opening up every single email that you send them. They're liking every single post that you make on your social channels. You know that they're very, very engaged with your content. So you start ranking, from number one all the way down to, 100, let's say. And then you take the top, let's say 10% of those
Mhm.
people. So you have your top 10% of most profitable, most engaged possibilities, and you reach out to them. It's really simple. you send them an email, not a mass email. You're sending them an email individually saying, hey, how are things going? How are they really going? How's business? How are you feeling? And you start a conversation to see what they're experiencing. What are their pain points? What can you possibly do? You're keeping this in the back of your mind to try to help them out. So you're not necessarily selling them when you're sending them these emails. Once you get this feedback, now you know these pain points in this industry that probably apply to your entire mailing list, right? So you've reached out to 10%, but maybe you have thousands. And you go back to the drawing board and you start to think, okay, I basically just gotten all of this free research, and how can I develop on that? So you're doing some R&D sessions and figuring out if you can solve some of these people's problems. And once you come up with something, you can offer that to them, obviously, with a nice big thank you, maybe a special discount saying, I know you had these problems. I took it upon myself. I think I have some really cool solutions. Here's a, half off to try it up front, or, 10%, or, whatever, as a thank you. And then you also offer that to your entire email list. And, because it's very likely that they're struggling with something similar. And, in a nutshell, that's really what it is these 3 steps. And I cannot tell you how incredible it is to see the revenue that's being generated from this. And then on top of that, once you find something that's really successful, you can then email that group again who have purchased these new offerings and say, hey, thank you so much again. I would love it if we could talk about a partnership. Do you know anybody else that might be interested in this? And can we set up some sort of a program where we're splitting the revenue, or I'm giving you a referral or something where we can really push this out and we can both make money together? Like, let's move on this because it's something really good and really exciting and really valuable. And I want you to, make money alongside me. Let's do it. And, that's really, in a nutshell, that's the program.
Oh, I love what you shared. Thank you so much. I never thought of it that way. Of course, so your first step is to fill your email list, to have one, and then to fill it with contacts they are not already on your list. You take them from social media like LinkedIn, you said. Then the second step, and I like this with the ranking, do the ranking, and then I never thought of it, but it's true. You take a look and say, oh, someone bought from me, and then you do your ranking. Then you take 10%, right? And then you give them. You try, or you first of all you ask them what is your not what is your problem or what is your obstacle at the moment, and then you help them with something, with a thank you, you said, with the discount offer, and then you email the whole list because you assume this is the same target group or the same group. I'm not into marketing. I studied finances, but you said you are doing an MBA. Yes, I did something similar with focus on finances, not marketing. So I walk through my life and say, I don't, but this is what I most need, right? And when you talk about an email list, it's exactly what I'm creating today, and I'm facing like one thing. So the software I use is only up to 500 contacts, and then but I did not know this, and when I looked it up yesterday, it said like you have 564 contacts and then you have to purchase the next packet.
Of
And now
course.
I'm trying to, not trying, but I exported this in a file, and then I find out how to, so these are the basics. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
You give me
No,
new
that's
ideas.
amazing. Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, first, congratulations, because that's wonderful, right? Like, you've been tapped out. Now you have to, find a new service. I do recommend, I have done this before, when I'm just not in a position to pay for a large platform, is look up how Outlook uses mail merges. There's a really slick way that you can automate things for free with Outlook to get them. I mean, it's scrappy for sure, but just kind of a pro tip, it does work, you can have tens of thousands of people on this list, and you can do it for free. It'll automatically, send things for you after you've written them. So it's called a mail merge. You can just
Okay.
ask ChatGPT to walk you through it, basically.
Yeah, I learned about merges, and I learned so much because I love learning. And what I do is I send newsletters like 2 times a year, but it's not too much. It's the beginning, and now I want to send something, and then I face challenges which are good,
Yep.
and yeah, to find out. And I love what you shared. It's exactly the right moment when we met now. Thank you, and I can implement this what you just shared.
Yes.
So my
Yes.
next question is, as a digital marketing expert in the post-ads economy, what trends are you seeing that business owners should be aware of, and how can they stay ahead?
Yes, yes, it really does apply, very closely to what I was just explaining, this whole process with email marketing. Because so when we say the post ad economy, we're saying, how can we keep reaching out and generating revenue for our audience without ads? And we're asking ourselves this question because ads are getting so incredibly expensive for the same turnout. So I could have been spending, let's say, $1,000 a month for the last 5 years on an ad that I know really, really works. I could depend on how many leads I would get, how much traffic I would see, and I would be able to plan my revenue all around this, right? And then over the last few years, since we've seen the introduction of AI, we have started to see that these results are not the same for no reason. We cannot figure it out except to find, oh, if I pay $2,000 a month, then I'm seeing the same results as I was seeing with $1,000 a month. And then we go down the line and we say, oh, now I have to pay $3,000 for those results, $4,000 for those results. It's getting insane. And it's getting crazy because with the introduction of AI, with Chat GPT, with Search GPT, we're seeing that Google and Meta, for example, are proactively trying to generate as much revenue as they can from ads. So they're charging all of us a crazy amount of money in anticipation of this huge disruption that's coming. As soon as they release Search GPT, I mean, who knows what Google will look like? It's going to be completely different. And so this is the wave that we are preparing ourselves for, this large tsunami. And the way to do that is to say, okay, I've got to find something that will allow me to keep generating revenue without relying on these ads. And this is the solution, this email marketing.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. And I was also thinking about where do you save it? Because you said we cannot rely on those Meta and whatever it is. So I think
Yeah.
the safest thing is to go back to the 90s and have our spreadsheet or what it is. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It is. Yeah, I totally agree. I keep a hard copy of everything, and I'm really into Excel. I mean, I think it just comes from, when I learned about computers, ages me a bit, but I cannot let go of my Excel. It's such a powerful tool. So I certainly do always keep copies for myself. And then I do use different services, as I'm scaling, I'm dabbling similar to, as you said, there's tons of very affordable platforms that you can try out. And the things you'll want to look out for as you're trying these out is how happy you are, obviously, with the platform, but then also, are you seeing, as you're emailing people, that you are getting a lot of bounce backs, or are you seeing that whatever platform is sending these emails for you, are they getting marked as spam? These are the problems that you'll have to keep solving for. And some platforms are better than others, certainly. And so that's kind of the ongoing adventure that we'll all take together to find, I'm saving this in Excel for myself. Maybe I'm sending some things personally, and then what services, are of the future that are going to really help us reach our inboxes of our audiences.
Yes. Okay. What I get from your answer is to just trial and error, of course. And sometimes we are hesitating because it goes out to, I don't know, hundreds of people. And when you make a mistake or it looks weird, then I don't know.
Yes. That's exactly right. Just try it out. My kind of go-to is fast failure. Let's rip the Band-Aid. Let's try something, and let's try it quickly so that we're not wasting our own time and our own money. And then let's go into it saying, if this doesn't work, that's okay. Like, I will just try something else and I will be patient with myself and patient with the process. And ironically, that's a very similar process to how I would coach people on ads is, okay, we're going to try. Let's see what works. Let's see what resonates. So it's a lot of the same practice and a lot of the same theory because we're still dealing with the same audience, but in a different place.
Yes, I see and I understand. I love this fast failure and also the question, what is, you did not ask it, but I added now, what is the worst thing that can happen, right?
Exactly, right. And what's so beautiful about this and way better than ads is you don't have to pay a ton of money, right? We're not
Mhm.
paying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month. This is a much more affordable, scalable option. You know, it may take a little bit more work, but that's okay because it's worth it.
Yes, and it's fun. It's fun
It's fun.
to try new things. Not for everyone, but for me, definitely, like this
Right.
podcast, for example. And my
Yes.
last question for you, and I enjoyed our conversation so much. What are your, do you set goals for yourself or intentions, and what are your next projects?
Yeah. So I personally and professionally, I like to set quarterly goals for myself. And actually, because my focus in 2024 has been email marketing, my goal for Q4 has been putting out a new program for free, just outlining all of these steps we've discussed in great detail. And we are also putting forth a pilot program for people like you and I who are looking to scale and need some help. So maybe you and I talk. I'm happy to, help you out, no risk.
Thank you.
And so that has been my Q4 goal is to really get that off the ground and to help, 100 people by the end of the year bring in, $100,000 in revenue is the goal from their email lists. So, I do actually have a new webinar coming out that is 100% free. I promise I'm not selling you on anything. If you go to emailrevamp.com, you can sign up for the waitlist and we'll send out, early updates and everything in the next few days.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm so happy about our interview. And if you have a last message or final thoughts to the audience now.
Yes, just be patient with the process and get started now. Don't waste your time, right? Like, let's just get started and be excited. And, you have to start somewhere.
Yes, and the best time is now. Thank you so much. It was a great interview.
Thank you, Caroline.
And see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Inspired Choice today. I'm thrilled to have you on this journey of growth and transformation. Don't forget to hit follow or subscribe to stay connected and never miss an episode. And here's something special. Grab your free 20-minute breakthrough session with me. It's designed to help you kickstart or level up your business. Just check out the show notes for more. Until next time, keep making those inspired choices. See you in the next episode.